signs and the evidences that millions of them have experienced this is listed here. The Shastra Pramana, the scriptural references, the eternal unchangeable truth revealed in the source scriptures, which are Vedas and the Agamas. The Apta Pramanas are people who experienced the results of the power manifestation, the signs of power manifestation. The Rishis, Munis, Ganas, Nainamas, Alvars, Siddhas, millions of them who are authority of Hinduism, who had the superconscious breakthrough and experienced all the powers of Paramashiva. Atma Pramana, account of His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, this millennium's avatar's personal experience of power manifestation. Bhagavan's very own Leela to showcase how a human can have a cognitive shift and have the superconscious breakthrough. Shakshi Pramana, the experience of millions of devotees, disciples, followers all around the world who are manifesting the powers of Paramashiva. Bhagavan beautifully says, I myself will stay in Kailash Courtyard for each one of you to receive and manifest all the auspiciousness and abundance as your reality. Pratyaksha Pramana, the scientific study measuring the effect of being in the enlightened state, the thoughtless space. They do so much of tapas and so much of ways to manifest this thoughtless space. But Bhagavan here with just a cup of coffee or chocolate milk, and we are entangling with Bhagavan, enjoying Bhagavan and forgetting everything and going beyond and just being in oneness with Bhagavan and manifesting the thoughtless space. The most easiest way to experience the highest reality that Bhagavan is giving us, how he was held by Annagiri Yogeshwara in his hand. That's how he's holding each one of us and making us manifest this superconscious space. That is science of power manifestation. Let's go to the Shastra Pramana. The Shastra Pramana for the body scanning is taken from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Vijnana, consciousness, Bhairava, one who experienced the consciousness. Tantra is the method to experience the consciousness. One who experienced beyond the mind and to the superconscious space, to the existential reality. Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 54, Dharana 31.
Process for us to go beyond all.
Jagato vapi sukshma sukshmataraani cha tatvani yani nilayam dhyatvante vyajyate para.
Bhagavan Paramashiva says, cognize deeply that from the subtle to the subtlest constitute principle of your whole body. How we have a gross body, and gross body is made of the atoms and molecules. The whole universe simultaneously consists of the essential reality that are being absorbed into the source cause. And by the experience of this results of awareness, one becomes complete from all thoughts. When you get absorbed into molecules and atoms, how you are now now in gross, and when you are merged in something, that happens to each one of us in many instances of our life. When we are in deep anger or deep incompletion, anything, or deep hunger, Bhagavan says, we merge into that itself. Same way, every day we merge into the deep sleep, just engulfed by it. Same way, when we are engulfed by the what is the cosmic consistency, and we start getting absorbed into that, we become one with that. The ultimate universe, divine power, Para Devi, is revealed, and the supreme power manifestation happens. Beautifully, that experience as reality for each one of us. That is why Bhagavan gives us the Samyama. Samyama means, Bhagavan clearly defines it, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Dharana is like a dam. You put a dam and get the water collected in one area. Same way, world, you start focusing into the inner space. Once you start looking into the inner space, what's happening there? Who is there? What is that I came here for? Who's that who's experiencing all this? These questions put us into the inner space, the dharana. Dhyana, then you put into the one focus space of like a tunnel to get the water out, and that is dhyana. You start living as Paramashiva, as your reality. So when you start living as Paramashiva, as your reality, you're doing the dhyana. Then the samadhi, when the water runs through the tunnel and runs on the turbine, it produces electricity. So you decide to do the samyama when you are in deep silence. Even as research says, even 2 hours of silence, your brain starts becoming very intelligent. When you put anything to survival in our body, that is when we start functioning. When you put the basic need into the survival mode, then we start into the higher reality, how we have to function. So our brain becomes so clear and so vivid and alive. That is what happens when we are in the samyama. And all this put together, when we have deep awareness, when we are looking in and we are Paramashiva, then we become that Paramashiva. Just we have to recognize how you just have to get into the sleep. There is no manual or there is nothing to get you to the sleep. Same way, you just realize that you are Paramashiva. You are the ultimate. You are the Brahmanya Bahut Putratam. You are the favorite inheritance of cosmos. You are not somebody who's earning and begging for something, but you are the ultimate. You are the Para Devi, how she manifested for all of us. That is how each one of us are holding the Paramashiva inside us, the pure space, which will become the quantum space, and we will exist as awareness and witness and consciousness and quantum. When we know how everything exists in a different dimension, before we were born, we were that. After we are born, we will be that, but without the consciousness realizing itself. But when you realize you don't have any more death, otherwise, again, you have to take a body to realize that only in the physical body, on the physical plane, earth, we can experience that ultimate reality. That is how the software has kept. So we need to align again and again to inner space and let go the outer space a little bit. Keep a distance, like Bhagavan says, like how the lotus flower is in the water, but it is never touched by the water. And again, Bhagavan gives us how the bee is constantly buzzing, and the minute it gets the honey, it just settles down. Once you start looking in, it might be so many thoughts going on, and you say, no, this is not for me. But when you start looking in further, at one point, it sees the nectar and just settles down with Paramashiva. The greatness of how Bhagavan has initiated us now into the powers, just experiencing the powers, manifesting the powers, creating that space simply will make us understand the Paramashiva space in all of us. Let's go to the Apta Pramana. Apta Pramana are the rishis, munis, ganas, nainamas, alvas, siddhas, who have experienced, who have lived on planet Earth, and we have experienced seeing them, experiencing with them. This is from Sai Satcharitra, book 26. Here, Harichandra, when he went with his family, because his son had some issues with epilepsy and he wanted some cure, Baba gave some coins and said, please worship this with ones which I already given. So he's wondering, when did he get the before coins? And he goes and asks his mother, when did I get any coins? This is the first time I'm meeting him. The mother clearly said, your father, when he went, he also got the coins and he used to worship. And we used to be very healthy. Now you're not worshipping, that is the reason why he's asked you to worship it. So the mother gives the coin, which he did not attend to before. So each and everything, Bhagavan knows every record, every person, every detail so clearly. And simply they can manifest all the history. They know our history, not from this birth, but from the births that we have ever been on unconscious space to what we are now. It's like a whole species, how we existed, even as a stone, even as devatas, but only in human body, in 84 million. But all these species, we are the greatest species who can recognize Bhagwan, who can experience Bhagwan, and we are the chosen one to be in the Kailash courtyard to experience the ultimate. Now, Bhagwan himself beautifully narrates.
You should understand the context properly, the word, the meaning, all know it properly. They can know anything they want. When Ubay Bharati asked Shankaracharya about the secrets knowledge about the physical relationship. He did not immediately have that knowledge, but he could straight get it. He can just one ray of his energy into somebody's body and see the whole action, signs, what happens in and out, and able to explain the whole thing to Ubay Bharati. Understand? It means being a celibate by birth, but not out of any incompletions towards sex. He is simply able to look in. It means he doesn't have incompletion. He has not become celibate because of any incompletions. He has not become celibate because of any incompletion. That is the beauty of the Brahmacharya in Vedic tradition. Brahmacharya in Vedic tradition. If he has become a brahmachari, celibate, due to some incompletions with the sex, he cannot just straight look into that science and answer Ubay Bharati's questions. The moment Ubay Bharati saw Shankara, the motherliness in her was awakened. Like the Meenakshi, representative of Meenakshi, the Pandya queen, Mangayar Karasi, when she saw Jnana Sambandhar, immediately she felt the motherliness. Mangayar Karasi was basically from Chola kingdom. She was married to Pandya king. Ubay Bharati, even though she felt that motherliness, she somehow wanted to win Shankara for the sake of her husband. But the moment she put the question, simply Shankara was able to look into. Through Kashiraja's body, he sent one ray of himself into Kashiraja's body. Understand? The pure consciousness. When you don't have incompletion and want to look into, you can just look into any one person's brain or look through any body. Usually that is what I do. If I wanted to have knowledge about any subject, I'll pick up that book, just concentrate on the knowledge of that author, the thought trend of that author, download it, observe, and throw the rest.
Beautifully, Bhagavan explains how he experienced that beautiful science, how he gets into others' body to just do a scan, and how he gets into the books to do the complete scan. Here, Bhagavan beautifully describes the Pratyaksha Pramana, how the healing happens, and it's phenomenal. He says when he's scanning all these, completely there is nothing happening inside him. So the same thing is happening the other person. So when nothing is happening, the past is not carried over. That is what it stings. Again and again, Bhagavan says, a baby does not stink because they don't have thoughts. But we stink is because of the past that we carry continuously. If you carry something which is old and rotten, what happens? Obviously, our body starts stinking. When you are very clear how you function as the greatest space of reality, you are the Brahmanya Bahuputratam and you are Paramashiva, you stop that stinking because you are in the oneness with Paramashiva. Here, medically, Bhagavan has gone through the whole thing of healing, and their phenomenal healing happens in the other person. Whether it is cancer, whether it is whatever it can be, simply the whole cells regeneration happens, and there is nothing which even bothers. It just heals like that. Now we are going to scan a person for their history. how they had a history of problems which led to what they are suffering today. The root cause, Bhagavan says beautifully, our root problem, like when we were in 5 years or maximum 7 years, if you have a partner, that's wonderful, or you can call somebody and tell them you're going to scan them. Even known people you can scan